This is going to be a Rell Seas teaser free analysis, and this is 21 things that you probably did not know about Rell Seas teaser free. Now quickly before we get into this, I know I'm a little bit late, but there was a lot of things that happened in between the release of this teaser and the release of this video. So let's get straight into it. Now you notice the first thing only 7 seconds into the video. Fire fist from above stunned the opponent. Probably wasn't a stun, but it was most likely a block break. Now Fire Fist being able to block break is pretty crazy. That is very powerful. That should definitely be nerfed. Now as soon as they open the game in the menu screen, you notice the turn wheel for the menu. From the front page menu, you have what is probably some sort of set sail to go into the main game. This is customization. This is most likely settings with the snail. And what is this? What could this possibly be? Set spawn point? Maybe somewhere you would spawn at the start of the game? Very curious. What does the map mean on the menu wheel? This one genuinely caught my interest. Now, with this, you're going to see within character traits or main traits. Let's go back a little bit and let it play. Main traits, there's health, endurance, stamina, craft, and luck, which is very interesting. Now we do know what health is. Health is going to be how much health your character starts off with, base health, things along that line. Endurance is probably going to be how much it can get hit before something happens, maybe a block bar etc, or some sort of defensive stat. Now usually in video games, defense and health usually go hand in hand, but this is a completely different thing. Really curious to see what the endurance trait gives. Stamina, obviously stamina is probably going to be how much you can use your abilities before you need to charge up or regain your stamina. Craft, which means there's going to be crafting in this game. Now how in depth the crafting system is up to the Rell brothers. Hopefully it's not a simple crafting mechanic. Hopefully it gets more complex, and you know, the higher level you are, the better zones that you reach, the more crafting materials, some being harder to get than others. Again, probably efficiency with crafting, because I'm assuming crafting would be similar if not the same for everyone. So maybe there's some sort of crafting success rate. And luck, maybe just mean how lucky you are when opening chests to get rare items, devil fruits, etc. I'm not too sure what other things could contribute towards luck in a One Piece MMO style RPG. Now if we go boom, starter weapons, dagger, katana, flintlock. So you're going to be able to start with a light weapon. Katana is most likely going to be medium weapon, and remember they did say there are heavy weapons such as Byzento and Yoru blade. So heavy weapons is a weapon type that you're not going to get to start with, which is really interesting. I wonder why that is. Probably because those are a rare weapon type, so we're not going to get to start with it right off the bat, and then you get to start with flintlock, which is very interesting again. Now if you look closely, the Q spec for guns takes up bullets. You saw that? That was him using the Q spec. Uses the Q spec ability, boom, takes up bullets. However, what happens when you use the Q spec and there's no bullets in the gun? They didn't specify that within the teaser. Very interesting. Is the ability just not gonna work, or is that gonna be a bug where you can use it even if you have no weapons in the gun? Or is it going to use the ability but only use the amount of ammo you have and then automatically reload? These are factors that they didn't really say anything about. Very interesting to see what's gonna happen with that. Now if you watch the teaser at this point, the Rell brothers are really trying to explain what happens when you shoot, use all your bullets, and cancel reload to switch to another weapon. So they did say when you're reloading a weapon that has no ammo left, when you switch to a different weapon that has ammo in it, the previous weapon you had will cancel the reload in order to switch to the weapon with ammo. But if you use that weapon and exhaust all the bullets within that weapon and try to switch back to the weapon that wasn't reloaded, or you canceled the reload with, it's still going to have 0. So you're going to need to be careful when keeping track of bullets. And when you're in a heated PvP situation, or even a big war going on, it's going to be easy to lose track of what guns still have ammo on it. So be careful. When a rush skill lands on an opponent, and they are holding block, it block breaks them. So it cancels the cutscene effect that you would get with that ability, but you're going to get block broken in the process. A good way to avoid damage, but you got to weigh out your risk. Maybe you should just try dodging it entirely. And remember, the E ability is always going to be a rush skill with guns. It has been stated that guns will most likely, not 100%, but will most likely get their own fighting style. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be really interesting. Also, within the same context of this clip, when you die, there is a counter on your player, similar to Shindo Life. So you may be able to get revived. Maybe after the counter goes down, you die. Or maybe after the counter goes down, you get back up again. So you might have to actually finish off your opponent. We're just going to have to wait and see. So not only are you going to be able to parry bullets, but you're also going to be able to deflect bullets back if you're using a weapon and M1 at the perfect time. There's going to be multiple ways to avoid getting damaged by gun users. If people think guns are OP in this game, there are various counters to that. Every fruit will have its own unique M1 combat. Maybe not unique, but it's going to have its own M1 combat. And that within itself is pretty cool. Which means fruits that have status effects are most likely going to be able to be applied when fighting other opponents. It is stated that all fruits that are low gear types are going to have low gear bars. I'm not too sure if it's going to work similar to how Rell Piece Online's low gear bar works, but we're going to have to wait and see. It just means you're not going to continuously be able to negate the attacks of users that don't have Haki. But why you find a low gear player if you don't have Haki? All Devil Fruit abilities have a wind up time, which means they take a little bit to completely activate. It won't be instant. Not only that, all Devil Fruit abilities have end lag, which means if you miss your abilities, you can be punished for it. And every single ability except for the ultimates can be interrupted, which means if someone's using the ultimate ability, you're not going to really be able to block it and you won't be able to interrupt it. You're going to need to completely try to avoid it. It's also been stated that every single ability has been designed for airlift combos, which means every single combo can be extended with airlift. And what's really interesting about that, it means this game's combat mechanics is going to really be skill based. It's going to have a big skill gap because there are going to be players that never really get into using air combos efficiently and like to keep stuff grounded. I do want to see where this goes over time, honestly. Haki will be able to reflect abilities and bullets, except for ultimate abilities. And I find this interesting because this is going to be the first game with an effect like that. And also, if your ability gets reflected, it deals damage back to you. So if you deal a lot of damage, make sure you're going to be able to eat that damage that you're dishing out. That brings a whole new meaning to a taste of your own medicine. Abilities that lead into cutscenes have a huge startup time. And I'm going to show you guys that again because the startup time was long. And remember, these can be interrupted. So if you see it coming, you can completely stop it from actually happening to you. When you're put into a combo, you are given strong armor, which means you cannot be hit from the outside. Multiple people aren't going to be able to gang up on you, which means multiple people aren't going to be able to put you within an infinite combo. You can only be hit by the person that is hitting you. But I find this really interesting because in things like 2v2s, or maybe even when you're fighting bosses or different types of mobs, it means group play is going to be hindered by this effect. So I wonder how that's going to be like on release, and if they twerk. Hey yo, what the twerk. And if they're going to be able to tweak and adjust how this works. Now, I've seen a lot of people ask about this, that if you're going to be able to stay within your transformed state forever. They have stated that transformations is going to have a duration, a set timer for how long you can be in the mode for. So you can't just turn into Phoenix or Anel mode and just fly around the map forever. There will be a duration for how long you can stay transformed. Transformations, no matter how big, will be able to be knocked up, knocked back, and will be fully responsive even if you have not transformed and you're in your base normal form. If you are good enough, you will be able to juggle people in the air. damn near forever for what it looks like. Air juggling is a functional combat mechanic in this game, so it's gonna be funny seeing people that are really good at the game completely bully noobs in the air. That is hilarious. But yeah, that is about every single thing, or 21 things that you probably didn't know about Rell Seas Teaser 3. What do you guys think of Rell Seas Teaser 3? What do you think of the 21 things that I mentioned in this video? Rell Seas is shaping up to be one of the biggest One Piece games that we've seen. Just based off the game's core mechanics and what we've seen so far, it's shown a lot more than any One Piece game we have on the platform right now, and that is not deniable. The Rell brothers have publicly stated that ship customization and gameplay is going to be influenced from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and other games like Sea of Thieves. So I'm looking forward to seeing how ships is going to function in this game and how sea and naval combat are going to play out. I'm really happy about that because that's something we've been asking for within a One Piece game, honestly, forever. And not only that, the zones that they've been showing off look really good. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. If you made it this far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Peace.